volume was just moderate, about 175 million shares.
Go jump off a cliff. It used to be the kind of thing you'd say only in anger or in jest, but there is a group of people who take the invitation very seriously. They are thrill seekers. People who love doing what most of us wouldn't dare trying. Tonight, in part 2 of her series of special reports, Mary Nissenson tells us what motivates the thrill seekers to undertake those death-defying stunts.
It's been the kind of crazy market that may have made some who work in it want to jump right out the window. Not trades processor John Gilchrist. He prefers jumping out of other things. John Gilchrist is a thrill seeker, though that may not be how he'd describe himself.
You can fly in an airplane and not get the sensation of what a bird really feels. The only way you're really going to get that sensation is by just being you alone in the sky. You know, so many people think you're macho when you tell them you skydive, but it's not as dangerous as it looks. Not at all. I'd much rather be skydiving than being along the stock in the market.
As thrill-seeking goes, parachuting from a plane has become somewhat commonplace, and that, say social psychologists, presents a problem for the real thrill seeker.
Once they've controlled one thing, this isn't risky anymore. So, you know, that leads to an interesting question. Well, what's happening here? Do they have to keep upping the ante so much on risky behaviors that eventually they have to be jumping off of bridges to come up with something that is truly risky?
You know, I've gotten so used to jumping out of airplanes that it doesn't scare me anymore. When I jumped off the bridge, it scared the daylights out of me.
The thrill is called base jumping. The fear seems entirely reasonable. The day John Gilchrist base jumped from this bridge in West Virginia, another man died trying it. Gilchrist and the others continued jumping.
Anytime a skydiver dies, you're very sad, but it doesn't stop you.
You don't think about doing it to die or anything. You do it because of the excitement, the total amount of enjoyment you get in a short period of time. Well, it makes you think, of course, but he wouldn't want us to stop because he died.
Here he goes. Nice one, John.
In order to be a full-fledged base jumper, you have to jump off a building, an antenna tower, a span, and an earth formation. John Gilchrist has completed half of that. And it still isn't quite enough for him.
Another thing I wouldn't mind doing is jumping Angel Falls down in South America. It's the world's highest waterfall. It's about 3,000 feet. That would be fun.
Fun is one way of looking at it. At exactly 3,280 feet, Angel Falls in Venezuela is easily the world's highest waterfall, 16 times higher than Niagara. And yes, people do jump off of it. People whom some experts say are neither crazy nor social misfits.
In fact, I would predict that they're going to be overrepresented in high-status, hard-driving, visible occupations. Not only are they not depressed or sort of death or suicidal-oriented, but perhaps often are the opposite, that have more of a vibrant kind of appreciation of life.
So don't tell John Gilchrist he has a death wish.
I've heard that before. That's not true. I love life like anybody else, and I just think I enjoy it to the fullest by doing this.
178 people have completed all 4 phases of base jumping. 3,000 more are working on it, and at least 14 people have died trying. But those deaths don't put off the thrill seekers, who seem to live and sometimes die by the motto, it isn't fun if it isn't dangerous. Phil and Walter?
Incredible.
It is incredible. I just can't imagine doing that.
I can't either. Or this. We want to go back to City Hall. Here's Jim Avila to bring us up to date on whether or not there are going to be lights. We have Harold Washington making a statement. Jim, what has he said so far?
Mayor Washington is right now announcing a compromise which would allow for 18 night games. Let's listen to the mayor now at Wrigley Field.
There will be no beer sales after the 7th inning or 9:20 p.m., whichever is earlier. All this will be affirmed in a written agreement.